We got hot sauce. Scott Holtzman back here on the program. He's going to be taking on Beneil Dariush at UFC Fight Night on August 8th. Scott, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's good to talk to you again, and love the new background.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's good to catch up with you, and I'm glad you're complimenting me because I got to let the listeners know you scheduled this like 3 times. You're a pretty busy guy, Scott, these days. Glad you made time for me, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, like everything else, I'm just going to blame it on COVID right now. And
that's what I've been doing, too, with everything, yeah.
So it's COVID's fault.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. So you're where are you right now? Because we were scheduling this interview. I know we were sort of figuring it out on Eastern time. Where are you training right now? You're in Tennessee, right?
No, I'm in North Carolina right now. I'm in Charlotte, my little training camp home over here at Gym O. We got some other UFC guys in here right now. We're doing a top training camp.
Okay.
So no, it's not top secret, but we're trying to do the right thing and keep the sessions closed and try and stay away from COVID. That's a lot of money to lose for COVID. So
I agree. We'll get into the training camp stuff in a sec, and I'll try and get as much as I can out of you. But I want to talk about UFC 251 over the weekend. We just had it on Saturday. Did you watch the card? And if so, what did you think?
To be honest, I didn't watch it, man. It was getting a little too late for me. At about 10:30 p.m. Eastern, I turned it off. So I got to try and rest during training camp. I get one day off. So I heard it was awesome, though. I'm really excited for Peter Yan. Of course, Danny Rubenstein, that's my manager, so that's his first champ. So congrats to him. I heard it was awesome. But a good card. I'm still going to watch it. You know, I'm still a fight fan, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I can relate because I remember when I used to live in Toronto, being on Eastern time sucks as a fight fan. You're up till like 2 a.m. I'm back on the West Coast now in Vancouver. It's amazing. Like, you're done at like, even like a late card like this one on Saturday. I think I was still done before like midnight. It was perfect. So definitely one of the luxuries there. We talked a bit about COVID-19. Aside from training camp, how has that impacted your family and everything else? Because I know everywhere is a little bit different. I know we're lucky here in Vancouver. We're on phase 3.
It hadn't been too bad. It hadn't been too different for me. Fortunately, I was coming off the fight in February, so I had a little bit of a cushion there to last for a little bit. But I really was wanting to fight in July anyway, so it didn't push me back too much. So I got to spend a lot of quality time at home. You know, we have a 2-year-old baby boy, so got to spend a lot of time with him, and he drove us crazy. But obviously, we were thankful for good health and all that, and I had another group of professional athletes in Knoxville. We all trained together pretty much every day. We made a commitment to quarantine. I had a professional MLB baseball player, PGA golfer, and our physical therapist. We had a pretty elite workout group, so I'm in great shape.
Were you in better shape than those guys?
I can't say that publicly. No,
fair enough. Yeah, don't want people coming after you if getting upset or whatever.
Great, man. If you knew this golfer, his name's Scott Stallings. He's on the PGA Tour. This guy is in better shape than most of the fighters that I know. He's in crazy shape. And then my other friend, Jan Gomes, he's the catcher for the Nationals.
Yeah, I saw something about him the other day, actually. That's crazy. How did that even come together with you getting to work with them?
Jan's a big UFC fan, and we kind of ran in the same circle in college. He played college baseball at Tennessee. So. And then Stallings, we met through our physical therapist. So we put together a good workout group. Now, don't say anything to Jan. He's a little slower, but he's still got a good motor on him. His knees may not be what they used to be. So he's still in good shape, though.
Well, he has an MMA connection as well. If I'm not mistaken, his manager is Jim Walter, who's the same manager as Stipe.
Yeah, him and Stipe are good friends. I know he was friends with Stipe and Jean Vellante. He likes him a lot too, but he's a big UFC fan. He probably knows more stats than I do.
Okay, very, very cool. Let's talk about Beneil Dariush. This is a pretty big fight. I mean, pretty notable name in the division. How do you feel like you match up against him here? Yeah,
I mean, obviously, huge name. World class, all that. I mean, you don't need to say anything about him. I'm just trying to move up, man. Trying to pick guys off, slowly move back up. Had some checkered losses early in my career to some, guys that are turning out to be pretty good here lately. Just trying to climb my way up, man. And I needed a fight. There weren't many guys who are fighting right now. Beneil's fighting, so they matched us up. And I said, let's ride, man. I'm looking to take his spot.
So are you able to say who you're training with for this camp, or is that still top secret?
Yeah, I'm training with Impa Kasanganai. He's a contenders hopeful. He probably should be in the UFC already. Got a guy named Dylan Calla, Brian Barberina is out here, and a few other guys that are really up and coming. We got a whole gym full of guys, but we're doing a kind of a private group. We've got some other college wrestlers that come in and stuff too. So we're trying to keep it small and be smart about it. I know everybody's kind of limited under training, and I'm just I'm thinking that everybody else has the same sort of tools for training camp as me, so we're just going to get out there and let it fly.
Do you still keep in touch with those guys at the lab? Because I know you used to train out there, a while ago, and it seems like now you wanted to be closer to home. Makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, I still talk to a lot of those guys pretty often. I still had a pretty close-knit friendship with some of those guys, so we still have group chats and all that. We keep in touch. I'm excited to see Benson fight again on August 7th. Obviously Michael Chandler's always tough, but Benson's the man. I'm riding with him.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Let's talk about the weight cut. How's that going ahead of this fight? Because you're always a guy that makes weight, but obviously with COVID, I know it's tougher to get those groceries and things like that, right?
Yeah, it was tough, but I had obviously training 6 days a week with those guys doing fitness workouts. Wasn't on the mats for a little while, but every day doing the fitness stuff, and I'm in good shape. Obviously the fight kind of came together with, I don't know, maybe 5 weeks. So, he's not a small guy either. I'm not a small guy. So, it have to be perfect to make the weight, but it shouldn't be any problem. I never miss weight. I won't miss this time.
You mentioned Dylan Calla. That's actually a name I haven't heard in a while. I interviewed him ages ago, and I remember he was sort of like the next big thing, next big prospect. And obviously, I know he had some injuries and some setbacks and things like that. How's he looking in the gym right now? Because you basically kind of refreshed my memory there. I just was remembering how good this kid was.
Yeah, he's looking good. He's actually fighting this weekend down in Tampa. I was supposed to go corner him, but because of COVID and the fight and everything, I won't be able to go. But he's ultra talented, man. One of the best, grapplers, wrestlers. He's kind of been a little bit of secret sauce for me as far as wrestling and game planning and obviously a reliable training partner. So he's left-handed. He's a super grappler and all that. So he's been a good look for Beneil Dariush.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
Same guys I've had for a while. I'll have Jeff Jimmo here, head coach at Jimmo, and then my head coach from Knoxville, Ben Harrison, and then Dylan Calla will be out there too.
Awesome. And how's the fight playing out on August 8th? I know you'd like the finish. Dariush has been knocked out before. Is it possible we could see that in this fight?
I know I'm going to swing on his ass, that's for sure. And he gets hit, so I'm going to hit him. You know me, man. I'm going to hit, and I'm going to be hit. So he's there to be had. I definitely see lots of openings, so I'm going to swing on his ass. But I'm going to try to be smart. I get in trouble when I get fired up and let my emotions get the best of me. So I'm going to try to stay within myself and have a nice, clean game. And I think discipline will win this fight. So that's how I plan to do it.
If you go out there and you come out unscathed, is the plan to get a quick turnaround, or do you want to kind of space the fights out? What's sort of the game plan for the rest of 2020?
I just think it's unknown. I mean, obviously, I'm thinking about that, coming out unscathed and trying to fight again. But you just can't do that in fighting. You gotta take it one fight at a time and try. But I mean, I would love to capitalize on all this COVID stuff. I was trying to fight even sooner than this, but if they need a guy, I'm ready to go.
And you see yourself fighting for a while. I mean, like obviously, you said you're trying to find more consistency as far as the wins and everything like that. I mean, we're about the same age. Like, do you see yourself, fighting into your 40s, or do you have sort of that exit plan in the next couple of years?
No, I don't think I'll be fighting into my 40s. I really, I always told myself as long as I'm having fun and I feel pretty good, then I'm going to keep doing it. And I still feel like I'm fighting at a high level, still feeling pretty good, and still having fun. So it seems like easy money right now. So it's just it's a tough balance because the money starts to get really good at the end, so it kind of draws you in. So I'm trying to just capitalize on some of that money and still having fun too. So we'll see.
You still playing that retro gaming system?
Every now and then, yeah. I get Ken Griffey Baseball out on that. My wife and I, we tried to play a little N64 Mario Kart.
It's a little rough on there. Some of the games. Actually, Mario Kart plays pretty well on there, from what I know.
We tried to play a few games on N64. She's a little younger than me, so she can't really appreciate Super Nintendo or Nintendo. So we tried N64, but it wasn't that smooth. But I need to get it dusted off again and get it fired back up. But David Machad was in town before his last PFL fight last year, and he played some Ninja Turtles, and he loved it, man. He was so excited. He had a good time.
Awesome. Yeah, I try and play it every now and then. I got a 2-year-old, so it's I try and play like when he goes to bed for like maybe like half an hour. I was getting into Diddy Kong Racing the other day. It's a little bit of an older game, obviously. Well, not too old. I mean, like we were saying, we're a bit older there, but I was playing that. And what else was I playing? I think I was playing NBA Jam. I love that game for the Genesis. That's a classic.
It's hard to beat that one. NBA Jam, tough to beat. Man, even the regular Mario for Super Nintendo.
You got to put some time in, yeah.
Yeah. Ken Griffey, and then some of the older NHL, 96, 97, 98 for the Super Nintendo. Those are my games there.
Good segue. I was going to ask you about hockey. Excited to have it back?
I am excited, yeah. I'm just hoping the Preds will do a little better this year. But, they're always pretty tough. We'll see. Nashville's a big hockey town.
Yeah, no, it is. I've actually I went to a game a couple years ago when the Canucks were playing when I was living in Toronto because it's not that far of a flight. And man, did they love hockey out there. I was so impressed. That's like, I always tell people, like, if you want to go see a hockey game in the U.S. market, that was like one of them because it felt like a Canadian city. They're totally into it. So.
Well, a lot of people don't know, but the auto industry is big there. So you get a lot of transplants from Detroit and things like that. So there's a lot of hockey there. But I mean, it kind of came on. It was a big surprise. I couldn't believe it when I went for the first time.
Yeah, there's like a bar or restaurant like near there called like the Trailer Park. It's like designed like an actual trailer park if you go in, and I just remember that place because if you wore any Predators gear, you get like you get your first drink free or something like that. Do you know what I'm talking about? Does this ring a bell?
Yeah, it's called Paradise Park, and
yes.
The floor it's jam packed from like 9 a.m. to 3 a.m. And the floor has had so much beer spilt on it, you stick to the floor when you walk through there.
Yes. No, I do remember that. That place was awesome. That was a couple of years ago, but I remember it because it was such a unique place to go, just the way it was designed and everything. So that's really cool. You still keep in touch with any of your buddies that play in the NHL? I know James Neal's a buddy of yours.
Yeah, I hadn't talked to him in a little while. I need to reach out to him.
Because he's in Edmonton now. They did that trade with Calgary for him and Lucic.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good spot for him. Edmonton's looking real good lately.
Play with McDavid, can't complain, right? One of the best in the world, so that must be pretty good for him.
Yeah, he's incredible. I mean, one of the best in the world for sure. So hopefully they match him up or at least get some play time with him. But yeah, I'll be excited to see him play this year for sure. I need to reach out to him.
And always appreciate you taking the time, Scott. This was a lot of fun. Glad to see we could catch up here. It is UFC Fight Night coming up here August 8th. If you got anyone you want to thank, any sponsors or any social media you want to plug, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah, hey, thank you for having me on. It's good talking to you again, man, and we'll see you on August 8th.